So, hello and welcome back to the Caledonian Braves podcast. Today we're joined by a special guest, Braves all-time top goal scorer, sole member of the 100 Club, Ross McNeil. How are you doing, Ross?
Good, mate, good. Thanks for having me. Yourself, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm all good. Delighted to finally have you down for this one as well. We didn't wait to get you down for goal 100, but obviously it's kind of been hot on the news recently. What a brilliant feeling that must have been to get that finally over the line recently.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been, I know we spoke after the game, but it was one that kind of towards the end of last season I'd been looking towards. So it's something that, I'm glad it's just kind of done now, because it's, the closer you get to it, sometimes the worse it can be and the more jittery it can be. So I'm glad it's done. But no, I was definitely looking forward to it, and it was something I was keen to get.
Was it something that did play on your mind at all those weeks leading up to it? Because obviously you're focused in on the games when they are happening, but a bit of chat beforehand and stuff like that. Did that play in at all, and just a relief to get it done when it did come?
I think you always say it doesn't play a part, but I think subconsciously I think it's got to. I think just the Celtic game at half, I had a chance at half time, my left foot, and I thought it's not going to be. Surely it's not going to be one of these days, because I think the previous two games, I don't know if it was Armless and Rangers or something the week before, but I'm sure I was on the bench that one and I'd missed a chance somewhere else as well, and I thought, please just get it over and please just get it done with now.
I mean, it's quite funny timing as well. I haven't actually told the story at all, but it's because I messaged you that week when I messaged you, because I've been trying to track down stats for players, because it is a bit all over the place, especially all the cups we play as well. And I was thinking, I think you keep track of your numbers, and I'd messaged you and you're on 99 goals exactly. So
yeah, I thought one of the boys had stitched me up. I thought somebody was at it, to be honest.
Nah.
I'd all been talking about for a couple of weeks before, because I knew I was getting close.
Yeah. I thought you must have been around there, so thank God I asked, and I did. I was worried we'd have missed that.
Perfect
but
timing.
How are you enjoying the season so far then this year? Going along pretty well. Obviously a difficult game during the week there, but for the most part, been enjoying your football?
Yeah. It's been a great start. I was going to say a good start there, but it's been a great start. With 15 games we went unbeaten there. Obviously Tuesday's really disappointing to not come away with something, but the boys have been really good. It's a really good changing room. I think even in pre-season, knew straight away it was going to be we were going to have a good season as well. But no, listen, we've had a good start. That's all it is so far. But it's all about how we bounce back now. A couple of defeats in a couple of weeks there. Obviously in the Scottish Cup and then Tuesday night. So I'm sure the boys will be ready to go Saturday.
And obviously this season as well, you've been with the club for quite a while now. I'm not entirely sure exactly what season. Is it 5?
Yes.
But that's over 2 spells as well, isn't it? So how has the club changed from when you first joined way back when in that first spell to where we are now?
Yeah, well, I actually came on loan to Edosport when it was still Edosport, and it was a lot of the kind of French players as well. So I came on loan for a month the year before I signed as well from East Kilbride. So it's changed massively. And just in terms of everything round about, even all the small things within the building, but it was majority French players at the time. There was only maybe kind of 4 or 5 Scottish players. Then obviously turned into Caledonian Braves when we signed, and then kind of all kind of Scottish-based players coming in as well. A lot of the staff's changed. A lot of the players, bar John and Jack McNeil, are still here as well. So no, it's definitely grown arms and legs. Put that down to well done to kind of Chris and the gaffer and all that, especially Chris. I think everybody kind of keeps laughing at him every time someone suggests something that it can't be done, and fair play to him. He just keeps beating them. He just keeps doing it. He does what he says, and it's working out.
I think we'll come back around to the Braves a bit more circle, but to have a look back then throughout your career now as well then, so early days of your career, could you tell us a bit about how you started off and when you realised it might be a career to be had in football for Ross McNeil?
I always enjoyed scoring goals. I was always the boys don't believe it, but I used to be kind of the fast one that would run about a lot. I don't think anybody would really believe that anymore, but I always really enjoyed scoring goals. That was always my thing. Selfishly, that's what I love doing.
Did it always come natural, sort of just ball scoring touch, yeah?
Yeah, my dad played football as well, so it's in the family.
Was he a striker too? Or?
Striker, centre midfielder, yeah. He played for Hibs. I don't think he ever made a first team appearance, but he was George's best boot boy when he was at Hibs as well. So it's been in my family. know, and I don't know, what's better than scoring a goal at football, you know, like...
I wouldn't know myself.
And really just right through I played boys club all my days, you know, had a lot of trials at different teams when I was kind of going through the ages 12, 13, 14, you know, Motherwells and Queen's Park, Alloas, but just keep playing it, and I played maybe really probably when I joined Rutherglen Glencairn under 21s when I was 16 and played under 21s for like four or 5 years, and that's when kind of really started getting a bit more serious, you know, a lot more trials, playing reserve football for Ayr, you know, trials at Livingston, trials everywhere, but probably the last kind of couple of years, probably when I was getting 19, 20, I'd made my junior debut as well when I was 16, but I was scoring kind of 80 goals a season at under 21 level, and I wasn't getting anywhere, and I thought, I'm going to give it another year and see what happens, and I scored 101 the next. But I was meant to sign full time with Hamilton that year. That's the year they won the championship. I was in kind of training, and Billy Reid was the manager, and you know, I got told to hand my notice into work and stuff. I was getting a year's deal. They were going to take a chance, but they changed their manager. Alex Neil came in, and kind of that deal went off the table. And then, you know, I probably done with football at that point. I thought if I don't get somewhere senior this season, I'm going to chuck it. But I ended up getting a move to Stenhousemuir at the time. We're in kind of trial pre-season with them, and that was kind of my first senior club when I was probably 21.
Mm-hmm. I've got to say, if you're scoring 101 goals in a season, you've done that for the Braves now in total. That's got to get you picked up some way, you'd like to think. So that spell at Stenhousemuir then, how was that then, pretty much? How did that go for you?
I loved it, to be fair. That the manager was Martin Corrigan at the time, the assistant Kevin McGoldrick. No, it was tough, you know. It was kind of going in there, I didn't really have a deal, it was kind of going in there and, you know, see what you can do pre-season. Again, believe it or not, I was relatively fit at that age, so it was tough. It was a kind of big eye opener, because I thought, like, I'll be fine, I'll go in there and I'll kind of, my age will get me through it. But it was a tough pre-season, double sessions and stuff. But no, hung in there, and I really enjoyed it. It's a great club, Stenhousemuir. A lot of great people worked there at the time, and you know, we had a relatively good season there. You know, I think we got to the semi-final of the Ramsden's Cup. We beat 1-0 by Rangers on the telly. Rangers were in the league at the time. So were Dunfermline at the time. I think we finished 4, maybe 2-3 points out of the playoffs, something like that as well. Finished 5th. So we had a really good season. Really enjoyed it. Cut short because again, a wee bit of luck that you need. Changed manager, and you know, Scott Biff was a new manager, and he didn't fancy a lot of the players. You know, famously said that Nicky Devlin wasn't good enough for...
I was going to ask about that as well. I thought it was the same group as you, yeah.
Famously said that season Nicky Devlin wasn't good enough for League One. He's now gone Scottish internationalist.
Yeah, taking on Ronaldo and Rafael, and the types, yeah.
It just shows, you know, sometimes that, you know, you need a wee bit of luck in football. You know, you know, there was, I think, maybe 12 left that year, and that team kind of broke up what was a good team. A good group of boys. Was that
League One football at the time?
It was League One, yeah.
So playing League One football at that time for yourself then, was that something that just obviously came to you quite quickly, and did you enjoy that challenge at that time of your career? And
yeah, no, I loved it. There was a great group of experienced players. You know, there was a lot of Errol, who scored the winner against us for Broxburn. He was there. Me and him were there. We were the kind of young strikers at the time, the younger players, but we had a lot of experienced players. You know, a guy called David Rouse, and you know, Sean Higgins was great, and so was John Gemmell. The kind of older experienced pros who were the strikers were great for us. Not just them though, all the kind of experience. We had a lot of experienced players, Eddie Malone, you know, Kev McKinley, a boy Bruce that was injured that hung around. You know, with a really good Wally the goalie, Chris Smith being St Mirren player and stuff. So it was a great group of experienced players that helped us. You know, just to kind of play with a lot of freedom. That was kind of my job. Was just mostly as a sub for that year, because it was my first year. I think I maybe only started 10 games or anything, but my job was just to come on and, you know, run about and try and score goals.
Mm-hmm. And then obviously once you leave Stenhousemuir, then you have a few years going around a few different clubs then.
Yeah, I left Stenhousemuir to go to Albion Rovers. Scott Biff had actually suggested, well, offered me a new deal on that, but it was kind of going back down to the reserves again, and I was like, well, I don't really fancy that, considering I've already just done that. And they were up in the training an extra day. They were going 3 days training, and the manager at the time at Albion Rovers, God, I can't even remember his name. Ward, I can't remember his name.
Had a few down the years, yeah.
I know, and it was the one that was the manager when they got a draw at Ibrox. But he had spoke to him, and they were keen for me and John Gemmell both to go from Stenishmere to Albion Rovers, and he's a bit of Albion Rovers legend as well. So the plan was to kind of told me that how we're going to play, and done the deal and signed. And the week before pre-season started, they changed manager as well, and Darren Young came in. That was the year they won League Two. Sandy Clark, the Albion Rovers manager, was the assistant at the time. To be honest, probably wasn't patient enough there. I left Albion Rovers in November. I'd only maybe a couple of starts, scored a goal, but I don't know if it's just because maybe I thought with the way I was sold it, obviously never took into account the change of manager. So I was really impatient there, to be honest. Probably something I should have hung out. They won the league at the end, the first time in I think their history they won the league, and I was there and left. And went back to kind of Rutherglen Glencairn, my old kind of junior team at the end of the season.
And then where was it from there you went on to then?
Rutherglen was at the end of the season, and then I signed for Cumnock for a year, Cumnock Juniors for a year. Travelling down there was a nightmare. Trained in Irvine as well. You weren't getting back till late. Again, a good group of boys. Probably somewhere else I wasn't as patient with. Well, not patient, but me and the manager at the time had a few fallouts over if I should be playing or not. Come the end of the season, I actually left. I think we had about 8 or 9 games to go, and they won the league as well. They got promoted, and I'd left by then as well. So there's a few of the boys not happy with me. Took a few boys a few years to speak to me again, to be honest. And then East Kilbride. I signed for East Kilbride the year after.
So what you're saying, you could have had a few more winners' medals tallied up if you'd been a bit more patient.
Yeah. Nothing I can do about it now, but I just wanted to play football. I'm still the same, not even playing Tuesday night there in Broxburn. Like, I just want to play football, and it's always it's most of the time it's been to my detriment. But I wouldn't change it. I would rather be having arguments for not wanting to play than just kind of accept it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, yeah, that's fair enough. And sort of throughout those years of your career then as well, did you have ambitions to go to a full-time sort of level when you were, with Stenhousemuir and that kind of thing, or were you sort of always focused on a part-time career and your career outside of the game as well?
No, I always wanted to play full-time. I always thought at the time that I thought I was good enough to do it. Maybe I wasn't, but when I got to League One and things, I probably went the other way. I probably, rather than knuckling down really, hard and training harder and eating better, I do more off the park now than I ever did. Like my diet, making sure you eat properly, pre-match meals and all. I never done any of that when I was younger. I never took care of myself. I was in McDonald's for lunches and everything was roles reversed. So, I wish I'd have done a lot of that better. A lot of the boys here have got the facilities and all that. I wish there's something, like the during the day and stuff was available when that type of thing when I was younger, because it would definitely helped.
I think different sort of education as well, maybe just how to look after yourself.
I think everything's a lot more accessible. Sports scientists, dietitians, and I think even just PTs and gyms. I just think there's so much more access to everything now. Proper like strength conditioning programs. I don't know if there wasn't that availability of it, or I just didn't look for it when I was younger. Yeah. One or the other.
Mm-hmm. But you might need someone just giving you that nudge to tell you what to do at times as well. Yeah. So what is it you do outside of football then as well in your working career?
I work for a company called Total Jobs, basically in kind of recruitment sector. I won't bore you, but kind of work with recruitment companies. Yeah. Okay.
And you've always found that balance pretty natural then, would you say?
Yeah, I've always worked in sales. I've always kind of worked in sales since I was kind of 18, 19. Always kind of enjoyed that. I don't know if it's just because it can be competitive, that type of job, but yeah, always enjoyed it.
Would you say competitiveness is something that's inherently in you then? By the
Yeah,
sounds, yeah.
yeah, definitely. I can't hide that.
And then, so obviously going through your timeline, then you've got up to that time of your career of East Kilbride, which certainly seemed to be a pretty fruitful spell through your career as well, would you say?
Yeah, no, East Kilbride was great at the time. We won. I was there 3 years. We won the league twice, and the other year we got beat in the last day of the season. Spartans won the league that year. Won a couple of cups, and actually the other the 7-6 was one of the years we got the kind of world record from Ajax when Ajax sent over Van der Sar. They sent over a van with Edwin Van der Sar, and they sent us each player get 27 beers a Jupiler as well. So we were kind of everywhere on the news then as well. But it was a great spell at East Kilbride again. It was just a great group of players. There was different groups of players, different years. But the first year, that year we kind of strolled the league with Mark Laughlin and Carlo as the assistant, and the Robbo, the kind of coaching team, kind of steamrolled the league. And it was mostly East Kilbride boys. It was all kind of East Kilbride. There wasn't thousands and thousands of pounds put in. It was all just kind of local boys that were all pals, and it was great. And I had a really good time there.
And obviously winning the 2 league titles as well, something you look back at, I'm sure, this stage of your career when you finish, and something to really proud of. Is East Kilbride your local team as well?
Yeah. I'm from East Kilbride as well. No, it was great. Do you know what? I probably didn't enjoy them as much at the time. The first season, again, I probably felt as though I didn't play a lot, but looking back, I did play a lot of games. Scored goals again the first year. The second years where I played under Billy Stark, 3 different managers in 3 years there as well. I played a lot of games, but we unfortunately lost the league in the last day of the season. And then my third year was kind of I got some injuries at bad times, and I think one of the injuries we won 18 when I was injured. They won 18 games in the spin or something ridiculous. So that's when I ended up coming loan here, because I just had to try and get out and play football. So I think probably the second one, I didn't feel as though I was as part of it as much, just because I hadn't played as much.
And you obviously mentioned that's when you found your way to Caledonian Braves, or Edgy Sport at the time. How did you first come to hear about the opportunity of coming to the club?
I'd asked East Kilbride. Stuart Malcolm was the manager. Brian Kenny just left, and the boys were flying, and I wasn't really getting a sniff, to be honest. So I'd asked about the option of going out on loan for a month. I'm not sure who sorted it, but at the time, I think it was about February, and it was BSC, Spartans and East Kilbride were going for the league. I've no idea if this had anything to do with it, but it makes sense as to why. But the month I came to Edusport, they played BSC, Kelty's alone. They played BSC, Kelty and Spartans all in that month.
Did you help to get a result? Or?
we drew with BSC, that kind of put them out the running. They were the kind of main competitors at the time. Kelty and Spartans give us a couple of doings, to be honest with you, at the time.
But yeah, I mean, plenty of quality there, certainly. And then after that loan spell, then that's when you become permanent?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it here. I really enjoyed the gaffer's training. Straight away, I feel for this type of level, I can only speak of the coaches and stuff that I've had, but he's definitely, for me, the best, if not one of the best, training at this level, and it was just something that I really enjoyed. And when he asked me kind of coming towards the end of the season if I fancied a chat to kind of sit down, I went and met him, and kind of straight away I thought, no, definitely I want to come back and play.
And would you say that relationship with the gaffer then has been a crucial thing for you throughout? Because I haven't spoke to him obviously in some of his interviews, and while you mentioned the guys he sees as some of his boys, like you, Jamie Watson, that kind of group of players as well that came through that team, was that relationship something that's really important?
Yeah, definitely. I've got a really good relationship with the gaffer, and I always have, to be honest. It's always been really honest, regardless of if it's good, bad and different. I always feel if I'm not playing it, I've always been able to go in and chap his door and ask him why. Sometimes I don't get the answers that I want to hear, but no, we have a really honest relationship, and it was definitely one of the factors. But just playing, training for the big one for me as well. the level of training, you know, no disrespectful. I think it's maybe changed a wee bit in the juniors now with the money involved, but in the juniors sometimes, you know, like turning up and you're playing 7-a-sides, you know, and I was travelling to all over, you know, and I was just like, I don't want to turn up and play sevens, I want to turn up and train. You know, if you ask the gaffer, he'd probably say the opposite of me now. I'd probably just want to turn up and play 7-a-sides, but and that was, you know, that was the gaffer, and his training was definitely kind of the main thing as well as playing.
But obviously, in your time at the Caledonian Braves, don't want to mention it too much, but you went away for a year as well. What was the thought there to then return to the club after your year? Was it with Cairn, was it?
Yeah, Cairn, yeah, I left to go to Cairn. A tough decision at the time. You know, obviously they've got the financial aspect of it as well. They put a really good financial package together, to be honest with you. And it kind of tied in with my work at the same time too. Really, alongside it, we lost a lot of players that year. You know, Neil McLaughlin, David Sinclair, Alan Reid. You know, we'd all the kind of Corey, a good team, and I think we lost a lot of them. And we didn't really have MD signed, to be honest. I think majority of the players left, and it was kind of bare bones, kind of probably at the start of last season. And it, as I say, the financial package was really good, and I actually had that honest conversation with the gaffer to say that it's something that I thought I should give a go. I always said that I would never play money for football. I did for that year, and look what happened, it didn't work out. So, no, I wouldn't say I'd regret it. It might not have been the right decision. I wouldn't say I regret it, but you know, looking back, I probably should have a wee bit more faith in that, and the gaffer and stuff, that he would turn that around, because that season they actually had a really good season that year. I think that was the highest points total that season. Was the one that I wasn't here. I don't know if that's saying something.
I'm sure there's no correlation there. I mean, fingers crossed we could smash it this season perhaps, but obviously then that comes down to you coming back to the club then. How does that opportunity arise for you?
Yeah, I'd actually went to watch, I played Celtic in a league game on a Sunday that year. I was at Cairn, and it was round about come the January, I'd kind of said to Cairn that I wasn't going to stay for the following season, and they'd kind of basically said, don't come back, we're not going to pay you. I don't know if they wanted to get someone to buy me to try and get me off their wage bill or whatever. So I went to watch a game, and I know Wince, obviously Wince was an assistant. I played with Wince, and had a wee chat with him, and then I spoke to the gaffer, and he said, would you be kind of up for it? We'll get a chat. And I said, yeah, no worries. And we actually met in Costa and Braehead, and we had a good chat about potentially looking at next year. And once I'd kind of met him, I'd kind of already said, listen, I'm more than happy to come back. If you want me to be here, I'll be here. You know, and it's something, you know, I've signed a couple of deals here now, and we never really tend to speak about money between me and Gaffer. He just kind of asked me if I want to sign, I sign, and I just trust, we trust each other that we'll get it done.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, obviously that relationship being really important to that, and obviously the group of boys you sort of came back into as well. That group felt like a team that had a lot of potential, and obviously we lose them the summer last, and we've rebuilt from there. But let's talk a bit about that group of players that we had at that time. Good
group, and a few that I'd played with, but that left, you know, Jamie Walker, Mark Kelly, Jamie Watson was in training for a good spell the year before as well, Scott Forrester as well. But when I come back, you know, it was a really good team. You know, Luke Main, Scotty was, you know, 10 times the player that he was superb, unbelievable. Jamie Walker again, where he's went to, he was brilliant as well. And Marky was incredible that season.
That Zach as well on the way.
Butsy as well, you know, Butsy was ridiculous that season. Cammy, it was a really, really energetic kind of young, promising squad. You know, and the gaffer does that here and makes players better. The issue is sometimes, as what happens the next year, you know, with the juniors now, I call them the juniors, but you know, the West of Scotland teams, some of the money they're offering, it's just literally ridiculous. And you know, every player's got to got to look out for themselves, and we obviously lost a lot of players for the financial packages that were getting offered elsewhere. But that was a really good team, and one we probably thought could have kicked on if it had stayed together.
And that was my first season coming in here as well. And fair to say that team was pretty free scoring, I think is the way to say it.
Yeah, there was. I mean, I think Marky that year got something ridiculous. I think he scored like 30 odd goals. I think he got 30 odd assists or something. I think he got something absolutely.
It was ludicrous. In the 50s goal contributions, which
it
was incredible.
Ludicrous. I was really surprised that year not to see him. Well due respect to Scottish Lowland, I thought that year he'd definitely got a better move than that, because he was just carrying us through games at times, as at Butsy as well, and just the team just worked. It would. They obviously had the year before where they'd all played with each other, and you could see that something was building. And it's unfortunate it never stayed together for another year or two to see what could have came it.
And that obviously brings us to last summer, where you are one of the players that stays on. What's that motivation for you to keep working away? Because it must have been an odd period last summer. The amount of trialists in and out the door. Last summer it was an interesting sort of period after losing that quality, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was something. I didn't really think of that, because as I was saying there, when I kind of left, I wasn't sure what was going to come in, but I was never, I said that I'm happy to be here as long as I'm wanted. So I'd had the kind of lack of faith that I'd kind of shown and left before. So, and the gaffer and the coaching team got it right. So I thought, they'll get it right. And there was a lot of trials in. At the start of the season, like sometimes we were training with 30 players, which is ludicrous. But the gaffer makes players better, and I just thought if we can get in and get a settled kind of group, as the weeks went on, the kind of numbers started taking them down, and I thought if we can get a settled group and kind of stick together, hopefully we can probably weren't looking at kind of kicking on that year and going towards the top end. I thought if we can kind of solidify ourselves in the league with a view of kicking on this year.
And personally as well, your game changing a bit as well, from the pacey getting in about striker you said you were at one stage to what you are these days, yeah?
Yeah, but when I first came here, we played a 3-5-2, and it was kind of my job to stay and run off the shoulders, and it was David Winter's job to kind of come into pockets, get the ball, and definitely, probably last year was the first year I would say that definitely changed, and having to kind of be more of a target man at 5'8", if that could be a thing. But kind of hold up player, link up player, bring the ball in and just kind of be that kind of one up front that does it, just battles.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's certainly what people have picked up as well when they've watched our streams of a lot of our American viewers perhaps seeing you against Hearts B and Celtic B, getting in and about the young defenders, giving them a bit of a tough game. Yeah. It's the qualities you can bring.
Yeah, it's something that I'm not as fast as what I once was, maybe over a couple of yards, but not over the distance. So it was definitely something that it was probably a good thing that the kind of team changed, because it made me had to change my game pretty quickly. We didn't have as much of the ball. We were more direct. We were really good off the second balls and stuff. So probably the group of players made me change my style a lot faster, which to be fair, I really enjoyed.
And looking at that then for yourself at this stage of your career, then still learning and adapting your game, but what's the ambitions then for the next few years then for you?
I want to play as long as I can. I'm sure my missus and my kids maybe not, but I want to play as long as I can, as long as my legs can take me. I just love playing football. So yeah, I want to keep getting better as well, keep adapting. I love the coaching side, as well of the game. So yeah, I want to keep playing for as long as I can, and then look to kind of integrate the coaching side at some point.
So you've got ambitions to go into more coaching capacity in the future then, yeah?
Definitely, yeah.
So football's not getting left anytime soon, no?
The playing might get left, but the football in general, no, I definitely want to go into that kind of side of it.
Yeah, so I mean, Ross, that's been brilliant to go through your career. I did say we're going to finish up with a few quick questions as well. I know you've got training to get to, so we won't go through them for too long, but we put the questions out to some of our community who wants to put their questions in, and we got the first one from David Fleming, who we see a lot of the games. He was going to say, what does it feel like being the senior head within the group, and do you get a bit of back and forth, bit of banter from the lads because of that?
Yeah, they terrorise me at times, to be honest. They terrorise me at times, but it's good, you know. I enjoy the responsibility of being the kind of the older one there, and you know, my job's just to try and pass on any kind of mistakes or my experiences onto the boys to make sure that, you know, we don't or they don't or make the kind of the same mistakes, you know, and that we're prepared. But no, I really enjoy the responsibility of it, but yeah, I do take a lot of stick for it.
Yeah, I can see. I mean, I was going to ask you as well, obviously you did pick up the captain's armband, and well, not a physical way, obviously on the pitch, but you and John sharing those responsibilities as well. Is it a bit like babysitting at times?
Can be. It can be. There's a few in there that definitely need babysat, yeah.
Well, extra responsibilities, aren't they? And next question comes from Alec. He said, what do you think of your nickname that's sort of popped up in the community online, which has been Fine Wine McNeil? Have you seen that about it?
I have seen that. No idea where that's came from.
I think it was him that might have penned it first, and then other people have picked up on it a lot. So
yeah. Why not? I don't mind it.
It's complimentary.
Absolutely, yeah. I've been called worse.
Yeah, this next one is completely random now at this stage. I did ask for a mix of anything a bit more in depth or not. If you could be one animal, what would it be?
It's funny that we actually spoke about this in the change room not long ago when we were going round it. Everybody was talking about it. I think I said a bear at the time, but I'm going to go kill a whale. I'll go kill a whale.
Kill a whale?
Yeah.
Why's that?
Intelligent.
No,
Intelligence. Not that I have it, but that's what I'd like.
I thought you gave a mention of a resemblance to a meerkat as well.
Don't use that.
I heard that one before. And the next question from Ashley as well quickly was if you did a start, sub and a cut between prime Messi, Ronaldo and Neymar was the other option. I feel the first two are quite obvious there, but
prime sub.
Sub one, start one and cut the other one between Messi, Ronaldo and Neymar.
Neymar's getting cut.
Yeah, I presume so.
Ronaldo starts every day of the week for me.
Ronaldo man, yeah.
Yeah, Ronaldo man for me, and it's a goal scorer thing, isn't it?
I'd have thought so, yeah.
Although Messi's not bad, they two are in a different stratosphere for anyone.
You don't want to be dropping that deep in the park, do you?
No, Messi on the bench, unfortunately.
Question came in from Kevin, who's one of our owners, has actually got a trip planned pretty soon for the East Kilbride game as well, I think, in February. He was saying what's something he needs to try when he comes across to Scotland. It could be food or somewhere to go.
Glass bottle iron brew. Definitely glass bottle iron brew.
Is that the old recipe one, is it?
Glass bottle iron brew.
Just the traditional one?
Crispy roll, sausage and potato scone, tomato sauce and glass bottle iron brew, definitely.
Just a full experience down the bakery.
That's definitely got to be.
And then he was also asking, is there anything in America that you'd want to do, like bucket list items that you'd want to go out and see if you haven't already?
Yeah, I mean, I actually went on a scholarship to Oklahoma when I was younger as well. So I've been out there. Is there anything in America? I'd love to do Route 66. I would love to do Route 66. I really want to go to New York as well. And I'd love to take the kids to Florida at the same time as well.
Oh, that's a classic, isn't it? Rich asked, I think possibly topical for the week, I'm not entirely sure, but what teammate do you think could go into politics, and who would be your last choice to go into politics?
Politics is Cammy, I would say, go into politics. I could see that. Just annoying. Constantly arguing and debating. So definitely Cammy. And who was the last one?
Last choice for
Greg. Greg or Jack McDowell, two of them are too laid back to even be interested in debating things.
It's not the approach you'd want, is it? No. Last two questions then. What has been the biggest adjustment, this from Ken, this one, to the club since the ownership, like community and everything like that launched?
What's been the biggest change? The support, really. I know physically we don't see a lot of support, but you know, a lot of the boys, social media has kicked off a lot of the support in terms of people all over the world, people watching games, you know. We don't have the physical support, but you know, I just feel as though the support is there for everybody, and it's noticeable. It's noticeable for all of us.
That's brilliant. And final question comes from Isaac. This is a quicker one here. How long is it going to be until goal 200?
I don't know. It would take me 5 years to get to that, and that was with COVID involved as well for a couple of seasons. I don't know. I'd love to do it. I'll have to do it in 3-4 years.
3-4 years. Right, well, we'll come back to that one then. 3-4 years. Well, that's all our questions there, Ross. I'd like to say a massive thank you for you coming on today. It's been great to talk to you about your career and your time with the Braves.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate it. Cheers.
And have you got anyone you'd nominate possibly to come onto the podcast in the future to put you on the spot there?
Who would I nominate? I think Bruni would be quite good.
Bruni would be good, yeah. Well,
Bruni would be
we'll
good.
get him up next then. So cheers for that, and thank you to everyone for tuning in to this one. And we'll be back hopefully with more podcasts before too long. And Ross, once again, thanks for your time. It's been great to speak to you there.
Cheers, mate.
And we'll be back soon. Thanks for watching.